The Florida man who cried fraud has voted by mail yet again. Local voting records show Trump requested his ballot in July for today's Florida Republican primary. He also voted by mail during a special election back in March. And it comes after months of his saying things like this.
And hopefully there will be no corrupt mail-in ballots, which if you watched California and so many other places, mail-in ballots are inherently corrupt.
We're the only country that does mail-in voting. Mail-in voting means mail-in cheating. I call it mail-in cheating.
The cheating on mail-in voting is legendary. It's horrible what's going on.
A reminder, mail-in voting is and has been an acceptable and vital way for Americans to make their voices heard for years. And cases of mail-in fraud are extremely rare. The White House doesn't see the hypocrisy here, responding in part, quote, "This is a non-story." Sawyer Hackett is still with me. I think this is a big story. I think going out there and dissuading other Americans from voting in the proper way while you do it yourself is notable from the President of the United States.
Right. It's vote by mail for me, but not for thee. It's the classic hypocrisy story. I mean, that's a through line, I think, for the entire Trump presidency. But this has happened 3 times. He's voted by mail 3 times since 2020. And each time they've said, oh, this is a non-story. This is a non-story. Why he rails against vote by mail online, goes on Truth Social and bleats out all of these lies and misinformation about our elections. And now it's coming amidst his frustration about not being able to pass the Save America Act, him not being able to pass a massive voter suppression bill to remove that right from millions of Americans, particularly millions of Americans who don't have, photo IDs to be able to, demand that and every single voter will have to go in and vote by, in person with a photo ID. It's ridiculous. And, here you have Donald Trump voting by mail in Florida for the 3rd time since 2020. It's crazy.
I want you to take a listen to how he defended voting by mail back in March when he was asked about it during a cabinet meeting.
You know what? Because I'm president of the United States, and because of the fact that I'm president of the United States, I did a mail-in ballot for elections that took place in Florida, because I felt I should be here instead of being in the beautiful sunshine.
You were in Palm Beach, sir, the last few weekends.
That's right. And I decided that I was going to vote by mail-in ballot because I couldn't be there because I had a lot of different things. But, we have exceptions for mail-in ballots. You do know that, right?
The idea that being president is somehow different than traveling to take care of a loved one on election day, or having a job that does not allow you the flexibility or the portability to go to the polling place on election day. It's so callous, and I know that we're now inured to the callousness, but on this specific issue, I think it is particularly wrong.
And I think voters find it wrong. I mean, they want to be able to vote by mail. I mean, elections are not, voting is not an easy thing to accomplish at all times. Sometimes it's taking time off of work. Sometimes it's finding, childcare for your kids. Sometimes it's, just not having the hours in the day to get to the polling site. And so vote by mail has become a convenient way and a secure way for voters to cast their ballots in the manner that they choose. And this president thinks, of course, that he's above the law. In every instance, he thinks that he does not have to abide by the rules that everybody else does. And so, yeah, I mean, the hypocrisy is stunning. We're used to this hypocrisy. So as you said, we've become a little bit inured to it. But I do find that I think most Americans find it ridiculous that he's trying to pass this voter suppression bill while voting by mail. It's crazy.
Just real quick before we go, can we pull up the 2025 Brookings Institute study? Roughly 4 cases of mail voting fraud for every 10 million mail ballots cast. That is what we're talking about here. Sawyer Hackett, thank you so much for spending part of the hour with us.
Thanks for having me.